Shakespeare? Tons. But I mean, it's not pro because I can't afford, like my theater stuff I did, Actors Gang. I don't know if any of you ever heard of our theater company? So we're legendary in Los Angeles. Anyway, Tim Robbins started it with me and we were the straight male jockey dudes from UCLA
Cusack,
Theater.
that's the one with Cusack.
Cusack came in later. Cusack came in '85 after they did the Sure Thing. But the original kind of founding members were me and Tim Robbins, Richard Olivier, Laurence Olivier's son. Yeah, I was telling you this story about Olivier.
I was hoping you'd touch on that.
Okay, well, I'm a young man. I'm at UCLA, and we had this thing at UCLA where you could rehearse a show and perform it in a theater one day on a Friday at noon. Okay, and they would give you full production value, but you only got like 1 hour. It's called a noon miracle, as they call it. So Richard Olivier was going to be a director, so he had chose this English comedy. We rehearsed it, and we're going to perform it. And then getting close to the show, he goes, by the way, my dad's going to come see it. Your dad, that's Sir Laurence Olivier. He's going to come roll down and see me do like a bad English accent. That sounds great, man. Okay, so we do the show. Of course I killed it, you know? We were great. It was funny. Really funny show. We nailed it. We go to lunch with Sir Laurence Olivier, the Westwood Marquis, UCLA, just outside UCLA there. Here I am, dude, I am nervous. I mean, this man is like, it's Laurence Olivier. I mean, he's like, defined what stud acting was, right? He first said, call me Larry. Excuse me, Sir Laurence? Sir, call me Larry. I was like, what? What? Like, and then I was like, and then I was 18, right? The waitress comes over, she goes, what would you guys like to drink? I'm like, gin and tonic. Drinking age is like 21 in California. But Olivier, like right on top of me, goes, gin and tonic, what a marvelous way to start the afternoon. I was like, who is this guy? Demysticized the whole deal. If you ever run into an actor who acts better than you, remember this story, call me Larry, okay? I went on to hang with him a bunch. I remember one time I'm at his house, the country house, Dorset, in England. Went over for the summer to hang out. Everyone else went into town, some little market, I didn't want to go. And Larry had gotten this new Casio watch, one of those Casio watches with all the buttons. And he just wanted to know how to work it, you know? So 4 hours we sat there. Learning all the buttons, I set his calendar, we're like, cool. Didn't talk lap time, so we do laps around his office, and press the thing. You know? Awesome. And again, you know, then, I mean, hearing his story, hearing him go through stage fright, hearing him go through certain things in amount of like, because he raised the bar so high on some of his shows that he was like, where am I going to go? All I can go is go down from here, yeah? So I've been very, very lucky. When I grew up in Santa Monica, we had all the Malibu kids. So my classmates in high school, like Robert Downey Jr., Emilio Estevez, Sean Penn, Rob Lowe. These are my classmates, yeah? So a lot of kids from famous parents. Now my family wasn't in the biz, but getting a chance to, like, Martin Sheen was one of my heroes when I was in high school. Because Marty had done Apocalypse Now. And we used to make our own Vietnam War movies in Malibu and talk about, want to hear the cast? The cast was pretty damn good. It was me, of course, I was in there. But no, we had Emilio, we had Sean Penn, we had his brother Chris Penn. We would have, like, who else would be in there? Occasionally Charlie would come in there if we could blow something up big enough to get him interested. Chad McQueen. We liked having Chad because Chad's mom, Ally McGraw, had this mailbox we used to like to blow up. To this day, if you drive out, she lives in New Mexico now, but if you go past their old house, it has a new mailbox, but the stump is still burned. We blow it up like M80s and cherry bombs, all in our Vietnam. We put the thing on like it's a helicopter, bad effect shots. And it was all because Martin had done the Apocalypse Now. You know, and we were also blown away by the performance and the whole story about Harvey Keitel getting fired and Marty getting the job. And then, you know, he's such a method dude, he got all drunk, and he punched the mirror, cut his hand, got in a fight with Emilio, had a heart attack. I mean, that was my buddy's dad, you know? And he was so crazy. I mean, Martin Sheen is like, I mean, he's the sweetest dude in the world, but I mean, I fooled him Like, I would go to his house and spend the weekend, right? And then Emilio was in a play where I played, it was called Stage Door. It's this famous play about Broadway. And I just had a part at the very end where I played Adolf Gretzel, this movie producer who's coming in to recognize one of the girls. It was like Lucille Ball's first movie, made her a star back in the 30s, and they did a play about it. Anyway, Adolf Gretzel comes in and he's like, "Oh, darling, it's about the photo. It's going to make you a star and all this shit." And then gray hair and a fake mustache. And at the end, Martin is there and he comes up to me and he goes, "My son is so glad to be in your class." I'm like, "Martin, it's Lee. I'm not the teacher." You know? But even then, I could fool like Marty Sheen. You know, maybe it wasn't that hard. I always thought it was cool. But that's. Go ahead. Question. Yeah.
You had mentioned Santa Monica, so my wife wanted me to mention Narbonne High School.
Narbonne, yeah. Well, Narbonne's in South Bay. I used to wrestle against those guys.
Yeah, you wrestled against her cousin.
Did I? He probably beat me. I was a fish.